When he said the word divorce, I laughed like he'd mispronounced something. I leaned against the fridge, popped a grape into my mouth, and said the line I'd said to friends 100 times. Go ahead, Daniel. Courts always favor moms anyway. He didn't flinch. He slid his phone across the counter, so I could read the draft email he'd written to a mediator. We both love our kids, he said, voice even. Let's start with mediation and temporary orders. I'm done living inside your threats. Threats? I scoffed. I'm the one who gets the kids to school, who signs the permission slips, who packs the lunches when you have a late call. I'm the default parent. Judges know who does the work. He nodded like he was checking a box. Judges look at best interests, Rena, he said, including which parent supports the kid's relationship with the other parent. That's not you right now. I rolled my eyes at the word best interests, the way I roll my eyes at weather reports. I knew, in the smug way people know things without ever checking, that mothers are safe by default. My friends' stories, my mom's stories, Instagram, they all said the same thing. Men leave, women raise, courts rubber stamp. I did not know the price of saying that out loud to a man who had already quietly started documenting. The next morning, I discovered how documentation feels. He emailed me, subject line, proposed temporary schedule/decision-making/exchanges, with a color-coded calendar attached. Week on/week off, Sunday exchanges after dinner at the police precinct lobby for a neutral, safe handoff, shared decision-making on medical and education, no overnights for new partners, and our family wizard for all communication. He'd also attached the children's school attendance records, pediatric visit summaries, our last 6 months of daycare payments, paid by me, reimbursed 50-50, attached Venmo receipts, and a printout of our text threads with my paragraphs of, you'll see the kids when I say it's convenient. I screenshotted the calendar and ranted to the group chat. Jazz. Girl please, courts default to moms. He's trying to scare you. Me. He wants 50-50 like he didn't forget library day 3 times. Raya. Judges hate lazy dads. Watch him fold. I folded first. During the 2-week wait for the temporary orders hearing, I protected my time. When he asked for Wednesday soccer practice, his off night, I wrote, the kids need consistency. When he showed up early for pickup, I left him standing on the porch for 13 minutes because I wasn't ready. When he suggested we each take a parenting class required by the court, I said, I don't need a class to do what I've been doing for 9 years. He didn't fight me in the moment. He wrote it down. He used email. He stopped reacting to my texts and would reply, please use OFW. Texts are for emergencies. He stopped being my stage. At the temporary orders hearing, Judge Patel wore reading glasses on a chain and the expression of a woman who has heard every story twice. She skimmed our filings, glanced at the attachments, and looked up. MS. Santos, she said, your affidavit says, I am the default parent. The children need me most nights. Mr. Owen's affidavit says, I've been doing drop-offs, medical appointments, and coaching. I am asking to be an equal parent. You have both presented documentation. I see school attendance with both names signed, pediatric records with both parents present on alternating visits, and email logs. I also see messages from you saying he will see the children when you feel like it. Do you understand that courts evaluate a parent's willingness to facilitate the other parent's relationship? I said, I'm protecting stability. She pushed her glasses up. Stability includes regular time with both fit parents. This is not the 1980s. Our starting point is the best interest factors, the child's needs, each parent's history of caretaking, the continuity of school and community, and, importantly, each parent's willingness to support the child's relationship with the other parent. That last factor carries substantial weight. Daniel's lawyer kept his hands folded. Mine squeezed my elbow. The judge set a temporary schedule that made my mouth go dry. Week on/week off, exchanges Sunday, 6 p.m. At the precinct lobby, midweek dinner for the off-parent, holidays alternated, no disparagement clause, mandatory co-parenting class for both of us, and a prohibition on moving the children's school or residence outside a 25-mile radius without written agreement or court order. Use our family wizard only, she said. If you don't, I won't read it. You will both complete the parenting class within 45 days. If either of you interferes with parenting time, I will enforce with makeup time and, if necessary, sanctions. Your Honor, I blurted. I'm the one who. You are both the ones, she said, without looking up from the order she was signing. I walked out stunned, swallowing humiliation and the taste of old certainty. I wanted to call my mom and cry that the system had failed mothers. Instead, I opened the court's website on my phone right there in the hallway and read exactly what the judge had said. Best interests, frequent and continuing contact, encouraging a relationship with the other parent. Daniel didn't crow. He sent the signed order in a group OFW message with "Thank you, Judge Patel," and nothing else. The first Sunday exchange, I showed up late. Not traffic late. Weaponized late. He was waiting, bag packed with labeled school clothes and the inhaler refill ready. The kids ran to him like he was gravity. He knelt, tied Luca's shoe, kissed Maya's forehead, and looked at me only long enough to say, "See you next Sunday. I'll send this week's homework plan on OFW tonight." He wins quietly. Week 3, I withheld. It wasn't some grand strategy. It was petty. Maya had a fever. 99.9 that crept to 100.2 if she lay on the blanket too long. I texted, "She's sick. Stay away." He wrote back on OFW, "Thanks for letting me know. Per the order, I'll pick up at 6 and manage care. I've already notified my boss I'll be remote tomorrow. Please provide the doctor's note if you keep her." I wrote, "She needs her mom." He replied, "She needs a parent. I am one." I didn't go to the exchange. I wrote, "Doctor says rest." I hadn't gone to the doctor. I'd Googled and stuck a wet cloth on her head like the past could write me an exemption. Monday morning, a motion for enforcement landed in my OFW inbox. He asked for makeup time and warned that a second denial would trigger a contempt request. He attached a screenshot of the pharmacy message showing the inhaler ready for pickup. He'd called the pediatrician Sunday afternoon to ensure continuity. He included the fever readings I'd texted. He had them because I'd bragged I was monitoring. He wrote the line that stung, "I want a parent, not visit." At the enforcement hearing, Judge Patel's voice was flat. "Ms. Santos, you denied ordered parenting time without a doctor's note and without offering makeup time. Do you have anything to add beyond what you filed?" I wanted to argue intent. I wanted to say fever. She asked, "Did you go to the doctor?" And I said, "No." She asked, "Did you offer makeup time?" And I said, "No." She granted him a makeup weekend and warned me that a second violation could lead to attorney's fees and, if the pattern continued, modification of primary residency. "No one is above the order," she said. Not moms, not dads. In co-parenting class, a woman named Carol made us watch a video called Gatekeeping. It defined it not as a crime but as a behavior, controlling information, withholding time, insisting there is only one right way, yours, using phrases like "my kids" and babysitting when the other parent is with them. I recognized myself so clearly I wanted to leave. I stayed because I was paying $275 for the class and because Daniel would see the attendance certificate. The guardian ad litem came in month 4 after Maya told her teacher, "Mom says Dad is probably going to move away with his new girlfriend," and the teacher filed a mandatory report about high conflict. The GAL, MS. Zhu sat on our couch with a legal pad and the posture of someone who has heard every lie kindly. She talked to the kids separately, looked at their rooms, asked about homework, bedtime, who packed lunches. She asked me, "How do you talk about their father when they're in the room?" I said, "I don't." She asked, "Do you sigh?" I laughed, then realized I was nodding. "Please stop sighing," she said gently. "They hear it as you have to choose." She went to Daniel's apartment and did the same. He had a corkboard with the school calendar and the inhaler refill schedule. She noted it. Her report was bland and devastating. Both parents love the children. Both are capable. Father demonstrates consistent structure and has facilitated mother's time. Mother has engaged in protective gatekeeping, late exchanges, disparaging comments overheard by children, unilateral schedule changes that risk damaging the children's relationship with father. Recommend: keep 50-50 with explicit exchange protocols, both parents to complete, children in the middle course, non-disparagement order enforced, decision-making remains joint. Consider father as primary residential custodian if noncompliance continues. I hated every single neutral word. I did better for 3 months. I was civil. I was on time. I wrote, thanks on OFW even when I tasted blood. Then I sabotaged myself with the easiest weapon I had, summer camp. I signed the kids up for a 2-week STEM camp during his weeks because I found a deal and early bird ends tonight. He wrote, please don't book on my weeks without consultation. I wrote, I already paid. He filed a motion to enforce decision-making and asked for attorney's fees. He won. The judge ordered me to reimburse half the fee, split the camp across our weeks, and reminded me again, best interests include respecting the other parent's time. The kids learned the lesson without the judge. Kids always do. One Sunday, after a mishap-free exchange, Maya climbed back into my car to grab her stuffed otter and said, please don't say Dad is late on purpose. It makes my tummy hurt. She's 8. She had used the word purpose. I drove home with my jaw locked and sat on the edge of my bed staring at the wall where our wedding photo used to hang. At final orders 9 months in, Daniel did not ask for 50-50. He asked for primary residency and a standard schedule for me, unless and until there's sustained compliance. He brought logs. Exchanges, my late arrivals, the camp thing, the enforcement orders, the co-parenting class certificates, we both had them, the GL report. My lawyer and I met in the hallway, and she said the words I never thought I'd hear. We should try to settle before the judge does it for us. We settled. He became the primary residential parent. I got alternating weekends, a midweek dinner, extended time in the summer, and a holiday schedule. Decision-making stayed joint, with a tiebreaker to him on extracurriculars because I had a habit of unilaterally signing forms. I pay child support now by guideline into a state-monitored account on the 1st of the month. It isn't a punishment, it's a formula. The order includes a right of first refusal. If either of us needs more than 4 hours of childcare, offer it to the other parent first. Exchanges remain at the precinct lobby. Our family wizard remains the only channel. If I text something beyond emergency, he doesn't answer because the order says he doesn't have to. When the kids want to FaceTime me during his week, he answers and sets the phone on the coffee table while they show me their Lego or the bread they baked. When I call 5 minutes after bedtime just to hear their voices, he writes on OFW, please call at agreed times. He wins because he stopped performing and started parenting. He wins because he never disparaged me to the kids. He wins because he learned the rules and followed them while I was busy repeating a myth. He wins because judges don't care about my friend group scripts. They care about the best interest standard and the parent who proves they can co-parent even when the other one can't. My mom asked me last week, so, did the system screw you? I said, no. I screwed me. The kids are fine in the way kids are when they have 2 homes with routine. They love their dad. They love me. They do not love when I sigh. I'm learning not to. I show up on time on Fridays with a smile and snacks that don't bleed onto uniforms. I send the homework packet back on Sunday, signed. I write thank you for the photos on OFW and mean it 90% of the time. Sometimes I still want to say my kids, because the phrase feels like armor, but I say our out loud until it stops sounding like surrender. Sometimes I want to whisper to Maya that Daddy is stubborn. Instead I say, Daddy and I both love you very much. It feels boring. It feels holy. It feels like losing an argument to win a childhood. If you're keeping score, I laughed at the law, and the law didn't laugh back. He stayed steady. The judge didn't favor him because he's a dad. She favored the best interests that he behaved like he understood. He didn't gloat. He sent the order, labeled the backpacks, and showed up. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. She mocked him with courts always pick moms, then gatekept, withheld, and ignored orders. He documented, used OFW, followed the rules, and asked for structure. The judge applied the best interest standard, not stereotypes. And he became primary. If you like this video, please subscribe for more. Thanks, and see y'all tomorrow.